how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. My name is Christy. What's your name?
Jerry.
Jerry. Hi, Jerry. How would you like for me to address you today? Is Jerry okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. What brings you in to see us today?
Well, right now I'm having a lot of issues with eating. I I've lost 60 pounds.
Oh,
Yeah, it's causing a lot of problems emotionally for me. I'm having a really hard time dealing with just everyday life.
okay. Can you tell me? You say you've lost weight. Are you not eating? Are you using laxatives or vomiting?
Well, I eat, but I basically go through these like waves where I overload on food, and then I instantly feel guilty about eating it all, and so I fast, and I'll immediately throw up all of the food, and then I won't eat um, very much at all for days at a time. And in this last fasting period, I've lost around 60 pounds.
Oh, wow. How long have you been feeling this way?
Oh gosh, for years. Let's see, I'm 33 right now, and I started um, at the end of high school, so over 10 years, 15 years.
Okay. So, I mean, is this a cycle in your life that you constantly follow?
Yeah, pretty consistently. I started whenever I was a teenager, and then it goes through episodes. I've been trying to earn my college degree, and what happens is I get really sick because of these, like my eating and then not eating. And so it's taken me 10 years
Oh, wow.
to get my degree.
Have you been hospitalized for this?
No,
Okay, so no hospitalization.
no.
Okay. So when you say that you fast, does that mean that you eat nothing at all? Does that mean
I eat very little.
very little? So, like on a given day when you're in a fasting period, how much would you
Oh.
eat?
I mean, I might drink some orange juice and have like a pack of crackers, but that will be it
All day.
all day.
Okay. All right. And so you said this started feeling this way like at the end of high school.
Mm-hmm.
Was there an event during that time that changed the why you were feeling this way?
Well, whenever I was around like 10 years old, see, I'm adopted,
Oh,
and
okay.
I was adopted like when I was a little baby by my parents, my adopted parents, and I have two older siblings that are my parents' biological children, and my older brother, starting when I was around 10 years old, he would physically abuse me, and then that lasted until I was like 26, so not too long ago. And he also, like when I was 14, he started sexually abusing me, and that went on for until I was about 26 years old. So I noticed that during like whenever I became a teenager and I was undergoing all of these, the abuse, I started to feel bad about myself. I didn't understand why it was happening, and I started eating and then
Okay.
throwing up.
All right. Um, so you said that you had two siblings
Mm-hmm.
that were biologically your parents. Tell me about your family life other than the abuse during that time.
Okay. Well, my mom, I was never close to my mom because she didn't really. She was an alcoholic, and she didn't really seem to. She was good to me until it came out that I was being abused, and then she kind of distanced herself from me. She kept drinking, and so then I felt really bad because I didn't understand why my family didn't want me. And I was a little plump as a child, and so I thought that maybe, if I was skinny, my family would love me more. Because I have an older sister too who used to beat me. She never sexually abused me, but she would beat me all the time.
So, when did you find out that you were adopted? What was it like when you were a small child? Was it something you found out during
I was probably around 10 or so. I mean,
about the same time
yeah,
the
about the
abuse
same time
started?
the abuse started. Mm-hmm.
So, were they old enough to know that you were adopted, or
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Yeah, they were old enough to know. Yeah.
okay, all right. What about your father?
My father, I've always resonated more with my father than my mother. I actually, my father and my mother were divorced, but my stepfather was in the picture, and I really got along with him. He actually, he's the one who discovered that the abuse was occurring whenever I was in my early 20s. He saw a really dark bruise on my neck, and I told him that it was because my brother he had been hitting me, um, and he kicked my brother out of the house, told me he was never allowed back, and he stood up for me. But my mother, like I said, she really distanced herself from me.
So you say that the abuse stopped when you were 26. You're 33 now. What things are happening currently that maybe has caused the binging and then the fasting? Did something happen recently?
No, nothing's really happened recently. I've been really sad for a long time. I have like no motivation to do things. I go from like a really high, well, I don't go. I don't. I'm not. I don't go from really high to really low, but my depression seems to go away, and then I'll be fine. But no matter what, I still cycle through eating and then throwing up. And so what happens is I get really like emotionally invested in food, and that's caused me. It's taken me 10 years to get my landscaping degree. So I've been out of work. I've been out of classes. I don't have friends really. I just kind of stay shut away, sad.
Okay. Did you have friends like in the high school time growing up?
I did. I had a hard time making friends because I just had a hard time getting close to people because I don't feel good about my body. I don't feel good about myself. But I do have two good friends that I have met in college, and they've stuck by me and they check on me every now and then.
Okay, so that sounds good. So I know that you said that you don't have like a job in your degree or own the degree that you're working on. How do you support yourself right now?
Right now I get some help from my stepdad, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
So are you still living in your family home?
No, I live on my own. I have my own apartment.
Okay. So then you're not married. Do you have a boyfriend?
No, I'm not married and I don't have a boyfriend currently. I have dated a few guys, but I find it hard like to try to be intimate with them. I feel really self-conscious about my body.
Okay. So I mean, have you been intimate other than with the abuse from your brother?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. So are you on any medications? Do you have any medical illnesses that maybe would affect what's going on with you?
No, I'm not on any medications currently or ever. And I don't have any medical illnesses.
Okay. Have you had any problems with the legal system at all?
No, I've never been in trouble for anything.
Okay. All right. I mean, what about other than the eating disorder? Do you have substance abuse or alcohol tendencies?
No, I've never. I saw how bad it was for my mom to be an alcoholic, and
Sure.
I stay away from it.
So you don't smoke tobacco or marijuana?
No.
Okay. All right. And do you have a high caffeine assumption? Do you drink? Okay.
No, I don't.
Yeah, because pretty much orange juice and crackers. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I would think, just from what you've told me in this brief intake, that you're suffering from bulimia with purging tendencies, and probably body dysmorphic disorder as well. And you might even have some bipolar 2 in there because you mentioned the really like depression and then feeling much better but not really like manic euphoric feelings. So I would like to do some therapy, possibly 3 days a week for the next 3 to 6 months. And I would also like to refer you to a psychiatrist who can look at these other things and maybe look at a pharmaceutical treatment.
Okay.
Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, I'd be willing to do that. Anything to help.
Okay. All right. So I think that's where we'll start. So we'll make an appointment and get that started this week.
Okay. Thank you.